Hello, Ryan here, aka Ari Rath, and welcome back to my hardcore Zero to Hero, where we started without a functioning ship. Now, this is Season 2. Season 1 can be found in the link below. This is where I started with basically the ship with no components, and I had to earn my way up doing anything I can without a ship to get the power plant and the cooler, which are the two components that you need to make a ship functional. The backstory being is that Ari Rath was a resident of ArcCorp, but his sort of estranged grandfather passed away. He'd not really known him very much, barely met him, and it was basically Ari was the grandfather's remaining family, so he left him the apartment in Lawville and a cutter, a Drake cutter, as you can see here, but it didn't have any components, no weapons, and yeah, it was just basically a hull of a ship, and Ari has had to work his way to getting these two components, which Season 1, as I say, basically shows the full process of earning his way enough to get a power plant, which I think is a roughneck, I can't remember now, and a cooler, which I think was the EcoFlow. And these two allow Ari now to use the ship and basically live out of the ship, because he's not a fan of the Hurston family, the way they treat their workers. He doesn't really want to be a resident of Lawville, but he is stuck on the planet Hurston because he spent his last credit taking a ferry over here, taking a Starliner over from ArcCorp to Hurston. So we are picking up from where we left off, where we now have the two components. Let me show you. Let me just put the lights on as well. It is just daybreak at Lawville, which is great. So let's get some lights on. So we have no quantum drive. We have a cooler. We have a power plant. The battery can't be taken out. And we have no shields either. Nor do we have any weapons. So it's a bit of a risk flying around, because we could get taken out. We have no way of defending ourselves. We have no way of fighting off anyone attacking us. Plus we have no way of traveling or jumping away using our quantum drive. So we've got to be very careful with how we do things. But the plan is, let me just close this up and get into the cockpit. Oh, let me just show you around, actually. I've kind of got things set up as I want them now. I've got my backpack down there. I have been, in Season 1, you may remember, collecting a few of these artifacts. We've got the Hadesian artifact, some war medals. I think they're UPE medals. And then we have some UNE medals here. I got them the wrong way around. But some more artifacts as well. Oh, and a little Karak as well, which is my friend for the time being. I found that in Tammany and Sons. I think someone had just dropped it. We do have a P4, and a multi-tool. I've got my arc-light pistol that my grandfather left for me. My helmet is back at base. I'm not using that one. We do have some Adventure Core armor set. Well, chest piece. The Nine Tails Inquisitor legs, which I do plan on swapping out. I've got a helmet in my backpack, and I also have, because I found this earlier in the previous series, a P6. Now I think I've only got one magazine or 8 rounds, but I've got a lot of sustenance, because as I say, I intend to live out of this ship rather than live in Lawville. But the plan today, or the plan for the foreseeable, soon I would like to fly up to Everest, which I'd have to do freely if I don't have a quantum drive, and pick up a box that I can use to store items in. But the plan being, we're going to scoot around the outskirts of Lawville, because I don't want to be traveling too far with not having a quantum drive, because then it'll just be flying all over the spot. But thankfully, there's quite a lot around Lawville. We've got ruins, we have a cave which is close by. There are a couple of outposts. I think Edmund might be one close by, but without markers, it's kind of a difficult way of getting there. Yeah, there's Edmund, which is not far off, but I can't mark it to let... Well, I can highlight it, I thought. Maybe not. Anyway, we're going to fly around the outskirts of Lorville. And in doing so, hopefully, we will find some ships that we can use to grab components from. The plan is not to really buy anything weapons-wise. You know, our priorities, I need weapons, I need shields. Well, the big priority is a quantum drive, really. If I can find that, then I can start jumping from place to place, which makes life a lot easier. But yeah, shields, weapons, they're very important. Missiles, not so important, but they can be picked up if I find a derelict ship anywhere. And yeah, the plan is to scavenge and salvage what I can from other ships rather than buying them. I don't want to have to buy anything if I can avoid it. So I'm going to scoot around the outskirts of Lorville, go all over the spot, maybe check out a couple of ruins, as there are two close by. But the problem with that is that if the Cutlass Red is, or the Cutlass enemy Cutlass is there, the NPC Cutlass, you know, it's gonna be a struggle. I do not want to get chased by him because, as I say, I can't escape without a quantum drive. I can't defend myself without weapons, and if he starts firing and I haven't got any shields, we're pretty doomed. So I'm gonna have to stay in the safety of this area, but outside of the armistice zone, so that I can use my multi-tool. Let's just see if I can find where this cave is, if I can remember. And really just hope that I stumble upon some wrecked ships, which are actually quite common. Surprisingly, there are... Well, not surprisingly, really, with persistence and the way that we all go through our ships. There is often a ship lying around. There's often things that can be looted from them. Ideally, it would be finding FPS weapons, armors, ship weapons, which aren't all that expensive. But selling what I can, using what I can, and just making money that way. That's the plan. I want to be a scavenger. I don't want to be stuck in a city. I want to be floating around, living out of my ship. And that is what the plan is for Season 2. As I say, I want to get one of those loot boxes that I can, if I can find one, and use that for taking down to bunkers, for taking around the ruins and just filling up with weapons. But for now, we can use the ship, and I can sell them at Everett, I think. Now, I was hoping to use VoIP, but my webcam, unfortunately, is just not good enough. Even with a bit of light, I tend to play in the dark, but I did, for the sake of trying to use VoIP VoIP, face over IP, for making it a little bit more immersive. I tried using it and it wouldn't work. It looked ridiculous. So eventually I will upgrade. Oh, there's some minables there. I think they're rock minables though. Let's just check them. Eventually I will upgrade my webcam so that I can use VoIP for these series, but until I can afford to get one, unfortunately we're stuck without that. Now I suppose, where are they? The main goal, the end goal to well, I say the end goal. The next goal is to earn enough to get a vulture. I want to be a salvager. So the plan is to earn enough, which I think is about 1.2 mil UEC, is to earn that much and get a vulture. These, I think, are rock minables, so I'm not going to be able to mine them with my multi-tool, but we'll try. But yeah, so that's the main goal. Eventually, once I've got a vulture, I'll earn enough to try and get a reclaimer and then hire some crew, but we are talking a long way to get to that point. But it is a beautiful day here on Lorville, on Hurston. Oh man, they're big. They're way too big. Yeah, they're all way too big. That might be something to do, although I don't think an ROC will fit in the back of the cutter. If anyone has tried it though, do let me know, because if that's an option, you know, I could rent an ROC and we could come out and do some mining, but not if it's not going to fit. And by fit, I mean smoothly, not jammed in with the door hanging out. Anyway, I'm going to scoot around, just fly around the whole vicinity of Lorville and see what I find, because there's got to be something around here. There must be a ship somewhere that I can use to, or something to find to make money. And if not, we'll then head off to a ruin and see what we can find. But I will do most of the flying, the aimless flying, while I'm looking for stuff off camera, so that you're not all subject to just watching me fly around. But if anything interesting happens, I will come back and show you, or if I find something of interest. Where is the cave? Anyway, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I did just find the cave. I knew it was somewhere around here, I just couldn't quite figure it out, but it's just up on this ridge. Now I'm going to scoot around this area, because if there's ever going to be a ship anywhere, it'll be around here, where players tend to go. Now, is it glitched, though? Yeah, the geometry is glitched again on the cave. They fixed it recently, but now it's back to being all weird, and I don't want to risk going in if I can't get out. But we'll just look around this area, because oftentimes you can find wrecks around here. Plus, with the ruins being over there, the derelict ruins, which has a cutlass, an enemy NPC cutlass, protecting it, sometimes ships flying around this area can get attacked and destroyed. So it's always worth looking around to see if there are any derelicts. Now, the thing is, if it's a ship that's in soft death or, you know, full health, it'll show up on the radar, or, you know, when you scan, or in your targeting sensor. But if it's an absolute derelict, which is just pieces of a ship, then it won't. So you've really got to use your eyes to try and spot them. And so far, seeing nothing. Anyway, I'll get back to flying around. Shame there's nothing around that cave. One day there may be. There's been enough time really to populate the servers since 3.22 went live. That should allow for ships to just be dotted around in places. But it is just a case of finding them now. But I don't mind. I love the life of a scavenger. I don't want to pay for anything if I don't have to. If I can loot my way to glory, then I will do so. Yeah, here's the settlement. And as I say, no enemy cutlass. So what I might do, where does the enemy cutlass land? Is over there, I think. Right there. So what we can do is put it down and see if we can make the most of this location and loot it to death. But I need to find a good spot to put this ship down so that I don't get attacked. And I can return to it easily. Shame there are no ships here either to be salvaged. Oftentimes there will be. See how we get on there. Ideally, it would be a bit closer, considering we don't want the cutlass to come in. But this could be, as there's no enemy cutlass here, this could be the first place that I loot. Now, I only have very little ammunition here, so I've got to be careful with that as well. I've got my pistol, that's probably got the most amount of ammunition in. Burst fire or single fire, let's go single. And I'm gonna, what I might do, take the sniper rifle while I've got it. If I've got 8 rounds, I'll grab it, and then I'll use those 8 rounds if I can at a distance. Let me just check first. Yeah. And then I'll just put it back in here, because I don't know if I'm going to find some ammunition, but going in closer anyway is probably not a good idea to use a sniper rifle. Let's just wait for this to do its thing before I commit to getting out. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully it won't move. But we can get up on this bit quite easily. And it provides a nice, big, solid bit of protection there. With this rock. Not the most convenient of spaces. Okay, we've got 2 there. I think you might see me. seeing anyone there. What are we looking at? 65. Let's zero in on that. Just got him. Just 2 rounds away. Nice, nice and easy. Be nice to get these new scope reticles in, where they're a little bit more realistic, or up to the modern standard, I suppose, as well, of FPS games. Okay, here we go. Got some loot boxes as well. Okay, this bit's clear. Well, we could take these all out, I hope. That's a waste. Oh, nice. 2 with 1 shot there. That was handy. Let's get my breath back. Oh, I'm not seeing any more at that point. See what we got here. Okay. There's some good stuff. I don't know what's saleable and what's not, but we will end up taking all of them. Sticking them in my ship. Sudden loss in frame rate there. That's strange. It's just nosedived. In fact, that's a good spot to go to look out with my sniper for the last 2 shots. Although, I'm not seeing anyone. Okay. We will likely fly our cutter to this location and just try and load up stuff as much as possible once I've cleared it. But I do want to be careful of that cutlass coming in. If it comes in, I'm just going to do one. Get out of here. Because there is no way I can do anything to it without risking myself more. But yeah, if I can gather up all this loot, all these, you know, weapons, armors, because I know P4s are worth 1,000. Oh, I just stood on fire. That was a, I mean, I can't see it, but that was a bad choice. I have got a single med pen. For now, although I should be able to pick up a few and get some ammunition from these guys too. Okay, let's just scoot up that. Get the ammunition first. Be nice to get that new looting screen as well. That'll do for now. It keeps us safe in case something happens. But let me just scoot around. I'll do proper looting off screen, so you're not having to be put through it. But also, once I'm cleared the place. Doesn't seem to be many others around actually, which is odd. Got a loot box there, which we'll try and get to. Okay, so we've got some Dollarvine there. That's good. Don't think that'll... Oh, it will fit. We'll take that now and we'll stick that in the ship so that we've got that. That should make us a bit of cash. But yeah, each of these weapons, each of these P4s, I know are worth 1,000. I don't know if I can sell them at Lawville. I think I can, at Tammany & Sons. But they are worth quite a decent amount of money. Okay. And I will gather up all the ammunition that I can, because you never know what weapons you're going to come across, so it's good to have them. Oh, I thought that was Hadanite for a sec. What I might do is fly the ship over now so that I'm not having to travel too far. And yeah, the Cutlass hasn't come in yet, so I think we're a bit lucky. If all goes well, this should be a good haul. But I might as well fill up with what I can immediately than risk the Cutlass coming in. Oh, we have our mining tool on there, don't we? That's one. Okay, so that's 4 bodies. We're at 28% capacity. We have a lot of these armor types. I know they're worth quite a bit. I don't know about the arms, the legs, the undersuits. It might be worth prioritizing chest pieces and helmets and things like that, but we're going to take everything for now. I know they're worth quite a bit. We're going to take everything and just sell everything while we have the room. And then if we start running out of space, I'll then try and prioritize the stuff that's worth more. But there has been changes in pricing for things, so I'm kind of relearning everything again, which is fine. Gives us the answers that we need. Anyway, those bodies are done for. Let's go and get some more. So, funny story. It is actually the next day here in the real world. Unfortunately, while I'm playing, I don't know if I've shown it on video or not, but I 30k'd, thankfully. This is while I was at the settlement, gathering all that, looting all that stuff. After 30k'ing, respawned back in the hab, everything was as it was, intact. My ship had everything inside it, so all that looting wasn't lost, and I was able to sell that, and we are up to 39,000. I was up to 40,000, but I had to buy an undersuit. I'll explain why we are dressed differently in a second as well. Got back in the ship, started recording, took off again, and while flying overhead in Lawville, it 30k'd again. So, back to the hab, back to getting the ship out, taking off again, and by that time, it was dark. The sunlight that I had available was completely gone, unfortunately. So as I was flying around, that's my excuse anyway, you'll hear what happened in a sec, but as I was flying around, I noticed there was a ship off in the distance, so I started flying towards it in the dark, just scanning to try and see where I was going. But unfortunately, I flew into the side of a canyon and completely destroyed my ship, blew up, died. And now, as I say, it is the next day. We're heading back out again. The ship has been reclaimed, but I lost all my armor, all my equipment, and everything. Hang on, we need a helmet. I've still got a multi-tool, still got this Yubarev pistol, which was lucky because I didn't have anything else. But yeah, inventory-wise, we are without anything else. So, what have we got here? We've got a tractor beam, got a mining tool. I'll put that in there. I'll put my helmet in there as well. Oh, I've still got a backpack, but I can't wear it because I don't have a chest piece. I will try and loot this stuff rather than buy it. I had to buy an undersuit just for the sake of having one. I felt it just made me a little safer going into space so I could put a helmet on if I needed to go into space. But yeah, so we're kind of picking up from where we left off. Starting afresh almost. But now that we've got some sunlight... Oh, I was just wondering why I didn't have shields. It's because I don't have a shield. What I'm going to do... Where are they? The Lone Scavenger. And I see two. Well, it looks like whoever owns that Lone Scavenger Reclaimer is already salvaging a C2 over there. We're going to do what I was saying we were going to do before all that calamity happened, and instead of just going directly to the settlement and whatnot, we're going to scoot around the outskirts of Lawville, go past each gate, and just see what we can see around, because I do feel like there's likely going to be something out there to find. We're going to start down in this direction, which is where the cave is, the canyons. because we have that Cutlass Red, that Cutlass that comes in and destroys players, there's a good chance we might find some salvage around there. But yeah, we kind of have to re-equip ourselves with weapons, armor, med pens, and then see if we can earn enough or find some components. So a bit of an unfortunate setback, but you know, these things happen, either a 30k or my own negligence and stupidity. Anyway, I'm going to scoot around, see what we can see, and hopefully we come across something interesting, but I'll just put it below the cloud line. So we've practically flown all the way around Lorville and haven't found a single thing where I was, so it does look like this area beyond, sort of behind the CDB, is where the majority of stuff you can find will be. I can't get to those bits because they're in an armistice zone anyway, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with them. But yeah, so now I know that, I will focus my attention here. The sun is sort of on its way down. We're doing alright for daylight to say that I've gone all the way around Lorville, which is a big city, especially after the update. And what I'm going to do is scoot around this area, or focus my attention on the area behind the CDB, where the cave is, where the outposts are, or the derelict settlements, and just see if there's anything I can find there. Maybe do a bit more looting again. I don't really want to get into any combat because I've only got a Yubarev pistol, and I don't know how effective I'm going to be with that right out the gate because I've not really used it that much. So if I can avoid it, I will do. But this might just be what day one involves. A lot of 30Ks and smacking into a wall. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec. So I decided to come back to the settlement, as there is still no cutlass here. I figured this is our only hope, really, for finding anything of any interest at this time. But I still have to be very careful, because as I say, I only have a Yubarev pistol. I have no other means to protect myself. So I'm going to set it down somewhere where there is a small amount of a settlement and maybe less enemy that I can take out. Here looks like the best option. A bit risky, and if things do start going a bit bad, then I'll back out of it. I have no qualms with getting away and running away. Right, so we have finally looted that place, got ourselves kitted out with some gear. It is very dark right now. We are about to retire. Now, I managed to just isolate the modified core, the Artemix core pieces, which I think are 1 point something thousand each. So at minimum, we've got 5 grand there. I think they're like 1.8, 1.9 grand. These helmets are 1,000 each, I believe, so that's another 4,000 there. We have a bit of Dollarvine, 3 of these P4s, which are 1,000 each as well. So we're looking at a decent amount there, just for the sake of getting myself re-equipped with things. I haven't got any armor, because I'm not going to wear Ninetales armor. I will in a pinch, if need be, but not if I can help it. This is my personal storage with the items I don't want to sell, so all of these magazines, ammunition for all different types of weapons as well, because you just never know what weapons you're going to come across, and I wouldn't mind keeping as many as possible and having ammunition for them. A lot of med pens as well, just to keep me safe. I don't have a paramed gun yet, and then my helmet, a weapon, a sight, some sustenance as well. We did manage to find a couple of artifacts, which is a UPE medal, I think, and then a pristine, large Hadesian artifact, which is very nice. Look at that. Beautiful. And we have, oh, that's supposed to be in there. We have our Yubarev pistol, our multi-tool, and our personal P4 as well. But that is it. That is me done for the day. It has been a bit of a trying day, but not the worst. We managed to get away with some stuff there. Thankfully, the 30Ks didn't impact it too much, but of course, me crashing into a wall certainly impacted it quite a bit. Bear with me. There we are. But yeah, I will be back as soon as possible with part 2. Most likely going to go off and explore some locations, maybe travel a little further to an outpost and see what's around there, because often you can find some derelict ships there, or at least ships that have been reclaimed on insurance, so they're fair salvage, and if I can get on board, I can hopefully equip myself with some weapons. I think that's the plan for part 2. See if I can find a ship that I can take weapons from and some components from, and get my cutter working as intended. Anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on every episode from here on out. Again, Season 1 is already available if you want to check out how we got to this point in the first place. Come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. You're all more than welcome over there. Maybe continuing on with our Twitch 0 to Hero, or maybe doing some salvaging in my Vulture. I am uncertain at this time. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a big thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.